Wow, I sure am excited for ArtFight this year. I can't wait to attack lots of people. Let's. Ah, well, they call it ArtFight for a reason.
You guys really resonated with the last ArtFight video, so I decided to make a follow-up for it. And wow, you guys really went crazy following me over there. I think I gained over 1,000 followers on ArtFight since posting that video. In fact, I'm pretty sure I have more followers on ArtFight than I do on Instagram, Blue Sky, or Tumblr. Seriously, this outpouring of support and love is incredible. Thank you all so much! In this follow-up, I plan to answer some of the questions you all had about ArtFight. For this video, I'll assume you already know what ArtFight is. If you don't, go watch that first video. I'll explain things way more in depth in there. Today, I'm just looking to answer some questions and talk about other ArtFight topics. Let's get into it. How to decorate your profile. I got quite a few questions about how to decorate your profile on ArtFight, so let me get into it a little. There's a lot of options depending on how in-depth you want to go when it comes to making your profile fancy. I feel like the approach I take with my profile is fairly simple. All I really do is add a bunch of web images. Some folks go the extra step and add more elaborate code and sections and such. All that to say, there's quite a few ways and options you can customize your profile and make it look nice. Here's what I do on my profile. As mentioned, I add images to make my profile look nice. There's a lot of tools on the toolbar when you're editing your profile. You can insert web images through there. So if you have a link to an image, like an illustration or a GIF, you can insert it right on your profile. For example, on my profile, I have links to the accounts for my various IRL friends that participate in ArtFight. Each of these has a cute bouncing Pokemon sprite. These are from the Pokemon XD Gale of Darkness GameCube game, and the GIFs are borrowed from PokeViki, the German equivalent to something like Bulbapedia. Since they have lots of great GIFs for Pokemon 3D models and sprites, I like to use their library as a resource for decorating my profile. If you want something ArtFight specific, ArtFight also has lots of assets available on their Art Assets page. You can copy the links to these images to put them on your profile. Personally, I love having the little badges for each of the teams I've been on. I can't tell if it's just me, but with the new profile editor, the website seems to automatically separate each image into its own line. If you want them formatted differently, like being next to each other, you might need to mess around a little bit with the code. To open up the code menu, just click the little button that looks like this, and you can experiment here to organize things a little bit. There's a lot of videos here on YouTube that go in way more to depth with using the code and parsing it on the ArtFight profile, as well as lots of other tutorials that don't require using the code at all. I highly recommend checking out these videos for something a little more in depth. If you're a high enough supporter, ArtFight also allows you to use CSS to make your profile extra fancy. Again, this is a bit more involved than what I have on my profile, so I'll show you my friend Emma's page instead. And again, I highly recommend watching someone else's video if you want to learn how to do this specifically. It can be seriously impressive to have a profile with this much pizzazz. And if you don't want to have to look on YouTube for tutorials and help, guess what? ArtFight actually already has info on how to customize your profile on their FAQ page. Seriously, the FAQ page has a lot of super helpful information that's explained pretty clearly and concisely. So I recommend going there if you have any questions about how the event and the site work. Of course, decorating your profile is pretty extra. Even the images aren't necessary at all. Text-only profiles are pretty common, and you can still make those cute if you want using colors, fonts, or text size. Hovering over each button in the Edit Profile toolbar tells you what they do. So don't be afraid to experiment and figure out what you think looks nice. Plus, you can edit your profile again whenever you want. No need to keep it exactly the same all year. Heck, I've probably tweaked my profile quite a few times since the last ArtFight video too. You don't need to make it perfect, especially not in the first go. Just do something you like, and you can always adjust it more later. Can you do traditional art attacks? Yes you can. In fact, a lot of people do. My sister and my mom are actually doing traditional attacks so far this year, and they're certainly not the only people. While digital art is probably the most common medium you'll see on the site, it is by no means the only one. Traditional art like pencils, painting, or even crafts are all great options. Personally, I'm always super surprised and excited to receive a traditional art attack, since they're a little less common. The ArtFight team also usually puts out a feedback form after the event ends, so if you do another craft that isn't already included in the scoring system on the website, I highly recommend filling out the form and asking about having your craft added. I mean, worst case scenario, nothing changes, so you might as well ask. Is there a minimum number of attacks you have to do? Nope. Heck, you could sign up and not make any attacks at all. There's no penalty to making more or less attacks than anyone else. If you're not sure if you're going to make attacks or not, but still want to join, there's no harm in joining now and not attacking anybody this year. After all, you can always come back and try again next year. Is there a minimum number of characters you need to have? Nope. If you want to focus on just attacking people and you don't want attacks on you at all, you could even have no characters on your profile at all. Of course, I do recommend having at least one so artists can revenge you as thanks. Some of us go absolutely nuts with having lots of characters, but that's not something you need, especially if you're a beginner. Upload as many characters as you feel like. No need to have a lot. Do you need to update your character references every year? Nope, this is totally not necessary. I know a lot of us try to update our characters every year, but this isn't something you need to do. Once you put up a character on your profile, they'll be there with the reference as long as you'd like. You can always hide them if you don't want people to draw them for now. No worries about whether your characters will be valid targets every year. Your characters are automatically put on your team each year, so you don't need to worry about updating their profiles or anything when the next ArtFight rolls around. Many artists update their refs before ArtFight begins, but that's mostly just because a lot of us want to update some old art that we're no longer satisfied with. It's not something you actually have to do at all. Do you need to color your art? Nope. In attack scoring, there's an option for attacks that aren't colored, so they're totally valid. Heck, you could even not color your character references if you really want to. Worst case, you can just put the description of their colors in the character profile. And worst case, you can just let artists make up colors for your characters. You can color your images as much or as little as you want or feel like. No hard rules here. Can I join ArtFight even if I've never drawn before? Yeah, you totally can! Honestly, seeing people get inspired to draw because they want to participate in ArtFight is one of my favorite things about this event. ArtFight isn't about being good or proficient, it's about celebrating creativity with others who happen to be on the site. Whether you're an artist who's been drawing your whole life, or you only just now decided to pick up art, ArtFight is for you. Are fan characters allowed? Yes, fan characters are allowed on ArtFight. If you have an OC that's made for a specific fandom or something, they're allowed on ArtFight. If you have a fan character, you must provide credit to their inspiration on their page. You can do this in the credits section of a character's profile. I definitely have a good amount of Pokemon fan characters on my profile. I also recommend putting the fandom in the character's tags, so people who want to draw those types of fan characters can find your character easily. Heck, if you have a Pokemon character, there's a chance I might end up attacking you. What makes a character a more enticing target? This is an answer that will depend on each artist. For me, I like a character reference that's clear and easy to read, not just text-wise, but image-wise. If the character, their colors, and their various props or expressions are easy to read and understand, that makes drawing them way easier for me. I'm also drawn to characters that have a short description of their personality or life. Little snippets like, they're shy, or they live in the big city, can give me just enough direction I need to make an attack. For me, clarity is the most important thing. A good view of the character, and a good understanding of who they are. These are the most important things that make a character consistently enticing for me to draw. Honestly though, I have so many different moods throughout the ArtFight season that these preferences aren't a hard requirement at all. Sometimes I feel like making up a color palette, so I find a character who's not colored in and whose colors aren't specified. Sometimes I feel like drawing a super simple character, and sometimes I want to draw something more complex. At least for me, my moods for what I want to draw can be as variable as the weather. Plus, different artists like different things in character profiles. I'm sure some of you will have your preferences in the comments too. When setting up a character profile, don't worry too much about whether they're an enticing target. Just share the info you think is important about them, include whichever art you'd like, and at least one artist will probably come along and be drawn to it, no pun intended. Can I join Team Tuber? If you watched my ArtFight Mafia video, you might be inquiring as to how to join Team Tuber. Unfortunately, we're not looking for more members. However, you can still help with our mission. Team Tuber aims to make art for underappreciated artists, so why not do that yourself? You can do this solo, like a little assassin, or you can gather your friends and make your own little unofficial ArtFight Mafia. Nothing is stopping us from having multiple quote-unquote gangs, after all. If Team Tuber is themed after Team Rocket, maybe your own team could be themed after one of the other Pokemon teams? No obligation. I just think it'd be neat if someone did that. Aether Foundation ArtFight Mafia could low-key go crazy. Anyway, you don't need to formally join Team Tuber to help our mission. Just attack underappreciated users, and with the work of even more people, we can bring people joy with even more art. With that, I think that covers most of the questions I think I can answer about ArtFight for now. Again, definitely check out the ArtFight FAQ for info about the site, its rules, and how the event works. And definitely check out other artists who also make videos about ArtFight. And I know we're only partway into the event, but dude, y'all, you people have seriously mauled my profile this year. This is the most fought I think I've ever been on ArtFight. I've made nearly 80 attacks at the time of writing this script. My ratio is still under 32%. One of my original goals was to hit a 60 overall ratio with all of my stats, but I just don't think I'll be able to hit that this year. This is truly insane. You guys have made so much lovely art for me, and I very, very much appreciate it. Feel free to direct some of that appreciation and love to my friends as well. I have a whole bunch of IRL friends linked right on my profile, so if you want to tag some more awesome artists, please go check out their pages too. I think they would seriously appreciate it. Speaking of friends, thank you to my friend Urklo, aka Epic Bubble Kitty, for the silly little animatic at the top of this video. I had a vision in my head, and I asked their help with it with such little notice. I sent them like this crappy little VO over Discord, and they made this thing so goddamn funny. So give them a shout out, go follow their YouTube, go follow them on ArtFight. All of their stuff is awesome and hilarious, so please go check them out. Actually, speaking of shouting out artists, you guys should put your own ArtFight usernames in the comments. I might not have the time or energy to attack every single one of you, but I do think it'd be fun if you guys make art for each other. Drop your ArtFight username below, and let's make some art for each other. Thank you also to my Ko-fi members for helping to make this video possible. My Ko-fi members help my income be a little more stable, and help me achieve my dream of being a full-time artist. With the help of my Ko-fi members, I don't need to worry about the YouTube algorithm for my videos as much. The consistent support really means the world and makes a difference. If you would like to join them, you can check out my Ko-fi page in the description, where you can join for as little as $1 a month. I hope to see you there. I'm also going to be tabling at a few events in the next few months, so please consider saying hi if you're in the area for one or more of these events. You can buy stickers, prints, and other stuff if you'd like some physical merch to bring home. It'd be super cool to see one or more of you guys there, so come say hi. With that, I think that's officially everything I've got for this video. Thank you all again so much for watching this video, and thank you for watching the end. And thank you for your support on my other ArtFight videos too. The support I've gotten in the past month or so has been truly incredible. Thank you all so much. The next video should be the 2,000 subscriber special, so you can look forward to seeing that soon. In the meantime, why don't you guys go out there and make some art.